Where the real Hebrew Israelites come to you week in and week out, prophesy the return of the Messiah, his heavenly Son. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles out in New York, Great Millstone of GMS. Honors to all Akim around the planet. Lifting up the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shai in truth and sincerity. With no further ado, I'm going to jump right into it with another lesson. All right. Uh, kind of first time I saw a bee this year, and we was talking to different brothers. And it was like, man, I haven't seen a firefly, I haven't seen a butterfly, I ain't seen no bees. And you know what? I see them, but I don't see them a lot. I only see them a few, and to the testament of those brothers. But and the Benji was like, the saint was like, man, yeah, because you got a garden. I'm doing a lesson. Don't come out. What's up? It's in there. The same. Look forward. It's in there. It's like it. Um, and it was like that's because you got a garden, and it's true. All right, the garden attracts birds, bees, butterflies, praying mantis, moths, caterpillars, and so much more. So this is kind of be an update on the garden because you can still grow your garden even in June. Go look up things you can plant in July, Salakia, things you can plant in July that will grow by the end of harvest, and at the same time, provide sustenance for you, and it will still you have enough time to do it if you start now. Um, and then you also this is also spiritual because even though you're coming in or you're a brother that's been in the faith, you still got to grow in the truth, as the scripture says, desiring the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. This is supposed to be a continual growth experience. All right, and that's doing the garden. It we're gonna take a little tour of the garden. It's been a beautiful thing, and at the same time, some things grew wonderfully, and some things I had to transplant. We had some accidents that happened, but it's also indicative of faith in your life. But the end result is going to be a lot of fruit and a lot of produce. If we do this work with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he said in Isaiah the 55th chapter, 11th verse, so shall be the word that goeth forth out of my mouth. It will not return unto me void, but will accomplish whereunto I sent it. All right. So this is my deal. Okay, this grows back. It's not a perennial which goes back every year on its own. It's actually, I believe, an annual. But if you see these, they look like little fireworks. Fourth of July today, and I love deal because the flowers look like it's fireworks popping off. They grow every year because they seed. That's what they're going to do after they flower. They're going to turn to brown seeds, and they fall right back down here into the dirt, and just keep coming back every year because there's so many seeds in the dirt. So now it's starting to even spread. Is even starting to spread right here. The deal coming through the little rocks. One little one, I'm gonna harvest that. Just make sure I take advantage of that. But they came back here and spread to these rocks. Okay, but it's dirt under those rocks. Hey, how you doing? All right. So, but they came back and they come back prolifically. If you do the things that you're supposed to do, you're going to get the produce, just as in the spirit. Lord, Luke 6:46. Why callest thou me Lord, Lord, and doest not the thing that I say? If you do the things that he said, he will give you the produce. A tree will be known by its fruits. And this deal is good. I mean, you can literally just take a pinch, a deal, just like this, and just eat it. You know what I'm saying? And like my brother said, man, it smells like dill pickles. All right? And it smells like dill. Of course, it's dill. And it tastes good, and it's not convoluted, as in these are Edom's stuff. Here's my okra. I tried to plant it earlier. I've tried to plant, it didn't come. Planted it again. Did some more digging about it, just like the scripture says. If you see a brother, young brother, or old brother, or new brother, whatever, and they're not producing in the spirit of the Lord, he said, you know, the first instinct is to cut it down, start all over again. All right. But Yahweh Shai said, no, let's dung about it. Let's fertilize it. Let's go dung about it and see, and then see if it can grow. I had to add some more soil, and then I actually been taking all my refuse water. I mean, I'll make water infused out of fruits. After the priest Shaman from New York suggested it, and it's been a blessing in my life. But then after every 3 or 4 days, I have to recycle it. So I'll blend it down into a water, and then I'll put it back into the garden. So it's fertilizing it, and it's putting nutrients back into the ground. Because Esau Edom doesn't follow the land Sabbath. So since he doesn't follow the land Sabbath, the soil is not as good as it should be, and they put the chemtrails in the air. Today we finally have a clear sky after being horribly with that so-called fake smoke, and then also a BP refinery that blew up. Well, not blew up, but leaked out chemicals and shit, whatever the fuck. It was just horrible air conditioning quality here, and so that goes into the air, that comes back into the ground. It's a blessing to even have a little produce, but this actually grew from seed, and it's my okra, and that's pretty nice. The deal, like I said, grew from seed. I actually had to transplant these. I tried to grow peppers, several different types of peppers here, and they were not coming up. Don't know why. Sometimes you just they don't. All seeds aren't good. All right, you got the 2/3. All right, those seeds are a bad seed. They're like the scripture says, a degenerate plant. How have you slipped to be a degenerate plant? All right, versus when He made us a holy right seed. All right, sometimes the seed is not good. So we had to get good seeds and transplant them, take it from a pot and put it into the ground. So now I bought these yesterday, Lord willing, and you have to really water them a lot, just like in the truth. When you come into the truth, you have to get a lot of water. And the Lord says in Deuteronomy, I believe the 33rd chapter, His doctrine, or 32nd chapter, His doctrine shall drop down as the rain and shall distill as the dew, as the tender, showers and herbs, so forth. Go read it. But this truth is likened to water. And once you come into the truth, you have to be inundated with that water. All right, and then along your journey, you have to be inundated with that water. I watered even before the storm, and it was a stupid storm. I'm talking about it was torrential, and I almost felt bad. I was like, man, my flood and be over flood water. And the Lord said, don't worry about it, it'll drain off. And as it surely did, and I saw the next day, or a day or two after, I saw the cracks coming back to the ground under dry, and I don't like that, so I had to water because I don't want any dry dirt. But this rain that's coming down is not filled with the nutrients and minerals that it all used to have. Is now those minerals combined, weakened minerals combined with chemtrails. So you have to go extra hard, and that's why I put stuff back into the soil on a regular basis. Matter of fact, just thought about it. I had a bonfire, well, a fire pit last night, and so I'm gonna take those ashes. I'm gonna sprinkle those ashes back into the earth because that's how you get those minerals. Right? So if you have a garden, save your garden waste, your food waste. The good food waste. Um, Mash it up in a blender with some water. Make it more water than the solid, so it's not a puree or soup. Make it not soupy, but more watery. So you might have to do it a lot. Might have to take a fruit or vegetable, cut it up, and put just a fourth of a cup in there, and like 2 cups of water in there, just something like that. So make it just watery, so that those very fine particles, after they're blended up, can go right back into the soil. It doesn't have to take a long time to biodegrade on by itself. If you compost it by itself, it's going to take a longer time. All right. I had to also transplant some broccoli. One of them, that first one, was growing, and it didn't do well. I know it's in the cabbage family. I'm not sure which one it was. You have a different vegetables in the cabbage family: broccoli, cabbage, kale, mustards. A lot of those are in the same. That's in the same family, so they look a lot alike. This next row on the left, and I had to transplant 3 of them. So now I'm going, to catch up with that one, and it was already past that one. So I'm going to keep watering. Hopefully that one bounces back. It's still hanging in there, even though some bugs are loving that and eating the shit out of that. But keep on watering and keep on digging about it and fertilizing it until the spirit, do what it do. This is another, I think this is another cabbage. Not sure which one it is, if it's cabbage or broccoli, I forgot. I have it written down somewhere. Which, I don't know if that was the same one. And this is also another cabbage, kale, or something. And there's some mustards right here. Now, beautiful thing is carrots have found its way that I planted way over the other side of the yard, and I'll show it when I get there. They have came either through birds, the wind, nature, the Lord, ultimately. And my mustards they have spread, carrots spread between the mustards. Even a basil, I don't know how that came. That one spread and found its way over here. So I'm leaving it to grow a little bit. I might try to pull it and transplant it, but it's not always easy to transplant. All right. That's right. It's not easy to be in this truth and fall out this truth and come back to this truth. There's only very few cases of the prodigal son that the Lord has given provision for certain brothers to have that on the memo, because it's rough. Once you fall out, or fall away or fall, it's usually hard to get up. If you're not humble. But the Lord said, "The righteous man falleth 7 times, but getteth back up again." Okay. This is also one of my. Now these are perennials. This is mint, and I promise you, this peppermint over here, bro. Man, this is amazing. If funny, it attracts flies. So even though there'll be a whole bunch of flies, there'll be a whole bunch of flies on it and pollinated. Um, so what's best to do if you're ever going to grow peppermint, grow them at the back, all the way at the back in the peripheries, and especially have animals and chickens and dogs and that poo and stuff. And you want to keep the flies away from your main people and so forth. It's pretty cool because even though this is by the side door, they're usually so captivated by the mint when they get collected over here that they stay over here. So they rarely get in the house, but we always get some stragglers. But this mint is so wonderful. If anytime you want to harvest mint, you just come to the stem, all right, and break off the stem. It'll grow back, all right. Just break it off like that, all right. And of course, if you want to, you can wash it. I'm not being in the garden in the dirt so much. I'm a big boy. I just eat it. I don't care about washing all that shit. I'm not spraying pesticides on it, but if I do set it up, I usually wash it in the kitchen when I'm preparing for meals or giving it to brothers or something like that. But this is mint. You can do the same thing, and just pop it in your mouth and chew it. And it tastes like mint. It tastes like you're eating some gum, and it freshens your mouth. And at the same time, now I've been making taking produce out the garden and put it into making waters and infusing my waters. Okay. The brother Hawashai Nawana says, John 5:1, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth much fruit, more fruit. That's right. And that's what you do. I'm going to show an example of this, that scripture coming on down. That's why it's imperative for us to stay on top of our spiritual fight. And right now, there's a lot I've noticed in the region and in our camp. Little brothers bugging out a little bit, getting in more in their feelings and being over emotional, being out of balance. I'm getting weak, and starting. The stress of this truth is getting to them. Satan, knowing that we have but a short time, is getting to them, and they need to get watered. They need to be sprinkled and fertilized. They need to be pruned to continue to grow in the right direction. And that's why we don't have a meeting, and we're going to address those issues and set up protocols to limit those things or excommunicate motherfuckers who just don't get the memo. Everybody's not a brother, even though you love them. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, but Paul said, even weeping, that everyone's not, they're even enemies to Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. I don't ever like to cut down. Matter of fact, I had to cut down one of my sunflowers because it was broken at the stem to the point of no repair. If it was halfway broken, I could have tried to mend it. I've done it before and mended it. But that was so broken. And if I get back there to it, I'll show it. And I had to. But that's just like in the truth. That's why we still got a chance to grow. You still got a chance to plant. You still got a chance. We are not done yet. We're not done. Isaiah, the 6th chapter says, how long, Lord? How long should I be down here teaching and preaching, fussing and cussing? He said, until this place is thoroughly wasted away. All right? No, it's done away with, okay? Here are my strawberries, and this has been one that's been a trouble for my garden. I planted somewhere you see this at, several. I have one here, and one there. And I might even have one there. I think I have 4 right here. And this is, my beautiful peppermint has came over and stole the area, because this was supposed to be from here to here. So I let my peppermint do what it do, because these seeds also, there are perennials, and these seeds go back into the ground. So I have a very luscious, and it smells so wonderful. I mean, absolutely wonderful. I wish I could put that shit in the house. It's absolutely wonderful, and it tastes incredible. You infuse it in your water. You put it in your water, let it seep for about an hour or two, and you don't have peppermint water. Put it with some cucumbers, some dill, some blueberries, some cherries, and that's my current recipe I'm using right now. And I tell you, when I say it's fa, and it's very refreshing. Right? But I had to buy this one and transplant this one yesterday to add. This one was bounced back because it was looking kind of lethargic, and it's flowering now, but it still hasn't produced any berries yet. And then I'm going to have to put a crate around it anyway, because every time I had last year, the ones that did survive, every little berry came up. It was I think I had one berry. Then the animals came and got it. All right. Always be careful your hose not getting on your fruits and vegetables. It will become tearing limbs. These are my banana peppers. I had to transplant them as well. I grew them before from seed, but about I don't know, this maybe a couple of weeks ago, I had to buy some, and I said no because they're about double the size that they were. But when you first grow in the beginning of the season, like in March, what doesn't grow by April or May, you have to regrow right away. And if you don't, then you're going to have to buy them already transplanted. I mean, already started and then transplant them. If you really want to get the harvest in a timely fashion and get the most fruiting that you can get out of there. All right. So that's why, hey, the first should be last, the last should be first. Um, but if you don't be able to grow from the seed, you have to transplant. I'm growing now spinach. We had an accident in the garden. Brother pulled up the spinach by accident, thinking they were weeds, and now I have to jump start the spinach. I was going to try to buy spinach plants. They didn't have them. So what I did was I have always got a whole ton of pots from transplanting and buying pots over the years. Um, so I filled them up with dirt from the soil, and then I put some more dirt, that top soil type dirt, and I kind of mix it together. And then I planted spinach, soak it wet, and then I put a plastic thing over to put a greenhouse effect. So all this is spinach except for this last one right here. That one is thyme, and I just did that. So this will help it grow a little faster to get the seed to sprout. These I put just one seed, so with after a couple of days I see others sprouting and none's not sprouting, then I'm going to replace that with seed so they can all be around the same time. And then when they all get a couple of inches tall, then I'm going to transplant them and they're back to their home, Lord willing, and then be able to harvest a lot of spinach, between now and the fall. And like I said, it's still enough time to plant. Go Google what can you plant in July to still have a harvest in October. And I promise you, you got kale, you have cabbages, you have corn, you have a whole bunch of stuff. Just go Google it and you'll see. And you don't have to if you don't have the space for this, go get a bucket, man. All right, go get a couple of pots, put them on your windowsill. All right, put them out on your front porch. Okay, grow, because I'm telling you, if you really believe these words, there will be a famine of food. The book of Lamentations says it. It says they're going to be sodding their children. The pitiful women are going to sodden their children. Going to be cannibalism is coming back for lack of food. People going to come snack. They'll walk past here, don't even know this is food. This don't look like food to some, unless it's something that is actually recognized. Now they see a strawberry, then they're going to know it's a strawberry plant. Without it, they don't know what this is. All right? They don't know if that's a banana bell pepper. I mean, it's like a banana pepper. They don't know this is a raspberry. This is a raspberry plant. All right? I have to, it's starting to lean, so I'm going to put something to hold it up. All right? This one was doing bad, and now this one is rebounding too after there's a lot of watering, a lot of love, a lot of attention. If you're getting weak in the faith, if you're getting that word, you're getting down in the faith, getting that word. This one was one growing underneath, and I didn't see it, and I thought it was a weed, and I pulled it out, and I looked and said, "Oh shit, that's another raspberry." One grew, so I transplanted it over here, and I didn't think it was going to make it, and one of the leaves over here is starting to die. But as you can see right here, it's bouncing back. So Lord willing, that one get to grow. I hope not to say it probably won't do anything this year. I'm hoping to get some fruity now for some of these, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. All right, it's another mustard family, and more mustards that I grew over here that jumped over here. All right, like my carrots. I got carrots here. I didn't plant carrots everywhere. These seeds sometimes flew around my separations, trying to keep the different plots together, and nature do what it do. So I let it be what it be and planted more carrots. So there, for some reason, and that's another thing. What you see that grows in your area that you grow in and grows very well, stay with it. All right. That's why I'm like, I see carrots go very good. I have a bunch of carrots. I'm gonna show the more the other ones in the back as well. I think there's some more carrots. I'm not sure what the brother planted. He knows. I bought these yellow bells yesterday because, like I said, they were having trouble planting on their own when I normally do. So I transplanted them, and they were already fruiting. That's why I got them, because that lets you know they're good. They already had a little small fruit on them. So I'm gonna let that grow. So I got to keep watering this one. I think I got some parsley right here, and grew some more parsley. Thank you, love. Put it, um, put it right there by the water. I'm gonna grab it in a second.
Right where?
Right there on the ground, right there. That's fine. You sleep right there. I'm gonna grab it in a minute, love. Matter of fact, take it back and put my top on it because I'm doing a lesson right now. I got a watermelon. Since these are small, I'm gonna put one watermelon. This is actually gonna be a big and vine, so I'm gonna have to get a thing here and a thing, or a cone top thing, because it's gonna vine up. This cantaloupe here also. A lot of the squashes and they like cucumbers, zucchini, watermelon, cantaloupe. Um, they even though they vine, and they vine really big. That's one reason I got one. So it won't, because this only can take that one space. But I'm going to have to put side berries on that. This is my cantaloupe. This is a hot pepper. Which one was it? A Thai chili pepper. All right, and this row doesn't get as much sun, so it's not going to be as tall as this side, because this side gets all the sun, but it still gets a lot of light, so it should be okay. But I see it's a little slow grower, and I saw a whole bunch of carrots over here. I think I did that. I planted them anyway, but they're doing good. But there was a lot of traffic, so I had to put the fence up because of my dogs, and then the brothers coming in and out, and unfortunately, brothers don't always pay attention. And then in the hood, and so you don't have a lot of space. So let's see, I finished with the raspberries, but here's some jalapenos. I had to transplant them. I usually grow them as well from scratch or transplant, but I had to transplant them. They about doubled, or a little bit over doubled in size as I got them, and so they're going to start they're going to double again, and they're going to start fruiting probably in about a month. Um, Here's bell peppers, and I bought them very small. I had to transplant them as well. Green bells, and so they're going to, Lord willing. That's why all the peppers look the same. You won't know which one until they start to fruit. Now this is cute. My red leaf lettuce. I didn't plant this one here or these here, and they look kind of weird now because I harvested them. And you harvest them by pulling them from the stem, and they grow back. So now they're going to grow back, and I gave out a lot of red leaf lettuce and purple romaine and dill and so forth. I just harvested my microgreens too yesterday, and my garlic chives, and they're good for and the wonderful salads. And that's how it's supposed to be. Come back and just make a salad every day. You just come back and just pull a leaf. You come over here, pull it from here, from the stem, and there you go. I don't see no bugs on it. Let's eat it. Salad. All right, fresh, clean, non-GMO. All right, healthy. All right, very greeny. I mean, straight greens. All right, you still got time. Go get you a pots. Go get you some pots, just like these little pots I had here. All right, get you some pots. Go get you some dirt. You'll use any dirt. Dirt. You see grass growing, you can pull up that grass, get all that grass out of there, and use that dirt. Okay. After you get the dirt, put a hole in it. All right, and put a seed in there, and water it until the water runneth over. All right, and then it's going to drain. All right. Oh, that got in there. Uh, then it's going to drain, and then if you want to get it to jump start it, put it in the greenhouse effect by making the steam in there. It's going to keep it hot and juicy, and then it's going to sprout. It's going to make it sprout faster. And once it's get about 2 to 4 inches, I say about 4 inches, at least this big. All right, but then you transplant them. I know you take that, you flip it over, shake it out, and you put it in your garden. All right, and if you want to, keep it just like that. It worked their way too, you know. All right, let's see where we at. So that was my red leaf lettuce. They just came. The Lord sprouted those seeds from around the corner and brought them over here. And so now I still have some good crops from that. Here's some more bell peppers. I think it's two purples, and I think this is a red, or I think it's a red. I got some orange down there, and I got some yellow behind here that I showed you right here. And then this is another hot pepper. I think it's not cayenne, but it's in the cayenne family. Forgot which one was a technical term it was called. And again, it could be cayenne. I can't remember. But that's good. You just got to keep the weeds out. Okay, keep all these weeds. We keep seeing majority dirt. The brothers come and help out and help the weed the garden. All right. Now, this is jumped. The sunflowers. Oh my God. First, I grew broccoli here, and it didn't do well at all. So I bought kale and transplanted the kale, and they seem to be struggling a little bit, getting yellow around some of the edges. But I keep watering it, and one good thing about it is that this water thing, since I broke this drainage, I get a lot of water puddles and a lot of water come over here. So I'm just hoping that they stay up. They actually, I can see them actually growing now. So it took a little bit for them to stay, but it's constantly overwatering. Keep it wet. See that soil? Once you see the soil starting to crack, it means it's getting dry. All right, a wise man knoweth when he slippeth. When you see yourself starting to crack, see some cracks in your spiritual armor, know that you need to fill it up with some water, some oil. All right, to stay, polished for the Lord. Um, Here are the carrots, and you can see, my goodness, these carrots are huge, huge, and they're seeding now. Some I see this one over here starting to seed. All right, and that's beautiful. Um, so these carrots are amazing. They did very, very well. So I know in the future to always keep carrots on deck because my soil loves it. Just like onions, my soil loves the onions, and it loves sunflowers. I did not plant these sunflowers. My chickens, they had pooped in the garden as I was getting the garden cultivated, and they did this through the Lord and power of the Lord. And I stuck stuff underneath it and behind. But the sunflower, so I planted some over there, but I did that myself. They decided to come all the way over here because I put in my chicken feed is sunflowers in my chicken feed. So when they pooped out, they pooped and they sat. All right. If you get the spirit of the Heavenly Father and it's planted in you, you're going to be an Israelite. No matter, the Lord's going to bring you to this truth. If you're a wicked seed, an evil seed, you're not going to come into this truth. Just this period. All right. Now, in the mingled amongst this, I got a red leaf lettuce back there. I actually grew a bunch of green leaf lettuce and didn't grow. So I'm still going to hopefully transplant some green leaf lettuce in this spot right here. This is one of my goals. Since I have a spot there, I'm going to plant there. And always work with your garden. You see what your garden do? Play with your garden is the way the Lord set it up. I'm not going to plant something down there where it's going to be hard, even though I see carrots came through here. I don't know how that came over there. But notice, you'll start noticing the different weeds, different flowers, the different things that even not weeds, but you still might not want, like plantains and so forth. Here's another red leaf lettuce. Now this is where I had purple romaine. I harvested them. They're growing back, and if you see down there, you'll see rows of them, and they'll be coming back. They did pretty well. Sunflowers have overshadowing them now, which is fine. I grew a lot of onions. They didn't do well, and so I had to grow them again. So I've replanted them. So we'll see if they'll grow back. I had my cucumbers. They didn't do well, but so I had to buy some and transplant them. And now they are doing well. They're growing. They're getting bigger. You'll see them with the yellow flowers. But they got to compete with the sunflowers now. But they'll be okay. That actually might work because the cucumbers, they go hard. They will overtake the whole garden if you don't keep them in check. All right. And just about these sunflowers, man. Everything on the sunflower is edible from the stem to the leaf to the flower to the seeds. All right, just FYI, you can eat the whole sunflower. So those are beautiful. So I got my onions right here. I got my cucumbers coming, my purple romaine. I have some red leaf lettuce. Got some carrots and got some kale and a ton of sunflowers. This was my sunflower garden that I grew over here. I actually grew the whole thing and this is the only this portion right here has stayed because these little bad ones and other animals keep coming and get them. But I believe I got corn coming right here, and that comes from their chicken feed, and they poop them out, and this is their area, so they poop a lot. Um, and those seeds will go back into the ground, and if it gets rooted and grounded, you get you the produce. All right. Um, this is my chickies. They're doing well. Thank the Lord. Just my daughter gave them an apple, and they destroyed that apple. They ate all the apple, baby. Um, I'm not sure if we have any eggs. They want to come out. I'm not letting them out. Damn punishment. Yep, she got some eggs. Hey, hey, mama. You sitting on one? Cause she's sitting on one. Okay. No, and no, they were not. No, no, go. Yes, yes. I'm doing a live. Go. Um, no, they will not produce another chick unless you have a rooster. A rooster will have to inseminate them. Once they inseminate them, the next egg they lay, if they gestate it and sit on it, it can grow into a chicken. Here are my shallots. They're actually all here, but this is where the dogs and the chickens they forage. So this is gets beat down, but I can still pull out any one of them that tastes like greens. You see the new seeds coming up, and the sunflower found its way over here too. But they come up every year. I got a new patch right there. That's why I let them do what they do because they always come back. This patch there, patch there. If I might cordon this off next year, so it can just have its own spot without the dogs and the chickens. But then I have my own compost where chicken poo, vegetations and food scraps. I'm working on my compost system. Not too proud of it right now. I got to fix that up. All right. This is my herb garden that I'm working on. Um, I forget what everything is. I know I got this is oregano. All right. This is chamomile. Um, I believe this is oregano as well. Um, but I think this is something different because sometimes the seeds move around. They do what they do. I had to. This didn't grow, and that didn't grow, and that didn't grow, so I replanted. Now some things are growing. I got to see how it is when it comes out. This is catnip. Did this from a cat's. I forgot what I grew here, but it fell over. The dogs knocked it over because it was on a thing underneath. So I put it there. I'm gonna wait till it grows back up because there's some underneath there. I didn't want to tear up the roots, so I'm gonna let it nature right itself. Um, um, I had to replant something here. I'm not sure what it was. It might have been some more catnip. I'm not sure. This is sage, and the sage is coming pretty good. Microgreen seeds that went into the sage. This is my microgreens. I just harvested this one, so this is looking kind of scant. These are just coming up. These I let grow up and come to seed. As you see, for peppers and seed and flowers. I let this one grow up first, and I was like, this first time I grew microgreens, so I was kind of trying to learn them at the same time. So now I've got a good idea of them. So I grew, and they grow very fast. So I grabbed them, and them, so I can keep them. I always keep the leftover pots because you can always grow more stuff. I keep dirt, fresh dirt. This doesn't have a hole in the bottom, so it gets real muddy, which is cool. I use that, let that be the base of my pots. I'm gonna harvest some more dirt from over there. I'm gonna make my dirt, and then I'll put my dirt in the bucket, and then um, put it into pots, and then add more soil. I use this right here, right now, soil for lawns, sod and seed, you know. So I use that. Uh, this is let's see. This was my garlic chives. I just harvested them, just cut them at the base and keep the long stalks and for cooking. This is lemon balm. Lemon balm. Those are growing. Something wasn't growing here. I had to replant, so we're gonna see how they do. This is cilantro, and since I saw the only those stalks grew, I planted a lot more. And as you see, they're coming in very beautifully. The same here. This is cilantro, and here's cilantro as well. And so that was the place my dogs kept knocking this over, so that knocked the other stuff over. So I had to make a change on that, but that's pretty cool. Um, this is mostly beets over here with I think a arugula sprig somewhere in here. I had a whole bunch more arugula, but that one also taken over. And beet leaves, like, and the beet. Pull the whole thing, eat the whole thing. It's even coming out over here. Okay. Then a couple of weeds I gotta get out of here. Nightshade is a fucking bane of my existence in the garden. Um, uh, but you see all kind of beautiful bugs and fireflies and everything. I'm seeing them now. Harvest come to the garden because it's here. All right. Here's some. Not sure which cabbage this one is. It's another kind of cabbage, and both of these are doing good. I had to transplant some tomatoes, so these are doing good. They actually grew a lot from me transplanting them. They weren't that tall. Now they're tall. I'm going to have to put cones around them, and because they're going to vine as well. Tomatoes are viners, and they spread vociferously. Sunflower jumped over here. This is what's with the one sunflower, and it broke, and only a little portion was holding it on. Usually, I would do something to hold it together, and it would actually reattach. But it was like vertical. I mean, horizontal. It was bad. Only thing was holding it was the skin, so had to let it go. This is where my spinach was, so I have to regrow my spinach. So I'm going to keep that over there that I had on the windowsill, and then bring that spinach back. If you're going to deal with potatoes, don't deal with white potatoes. Deal with sweet potatoes. That's the better complex carbs. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11. I thought it was more, so maybe one didn't survive, or maybe that's all I had. I'm not sure. Everything don't survive, but they're looking good, and potatoes grow in the ground, so you won't see the evidence of the potato until you go dig it up. See my sunflowers. Something else here I can't remember, and they didn't grow. So my Swiss chard jumped over here, and one jumped over there, and it looks ready to actually harvest. Some of this is starting to seed, so I'm going to harvest some of this. And I've never really worked with Swiss, but spirits, I get it, so I got it, and it's doing my garden loves it. All right, I got another bed of nothing, another 3 beds of nothing. Some onions that's from the other side of the yard. Found this way over here. I got plantains and some other stuff. But now I'm going to transplant some things here, probably some corn, because I'm probably going to do the same thing and transplant corn down back here. And it's very tall, so actually we'll shield it out. Cherries over here, so we'll see how that goes. And we'll see. See the dog poo-pooed in the wrong spot. And that's Jack's dog. All right, and that's the tour mostly of the garden, an update to it, and spiritual exhortation, and to continue to grow in the garden, and your own spiritual garden as well. I'll show one more thing before I end. Is even then you get you some pots like this in the front. I have from lupine to Canterbury bells to all this. I can't even remember everything, but all what I'm growing in front of the house for flowers, which is starting to come up pretty nice. They're starting to come. This one didn't grow well, so I had to replant it, and I don't see anything yet, but we're going to keep working on this one. Otherwise, I'm going to buy something and transplant it. This is starting to grow in that I've planted again. This one was taking a sweet time too. But all of these are perennials. I like to grow stuff that's going to grow back on its own and that are edible. Some part of it's edible. These are lilies, I believe. They're going to be coming in pretty soon. And I forgot what these, columbine or something. They didn't do well, but they're coming in as they're coming. So we'll see. And then I'm going to be getting rid of some of this crap over here. But this is actually flowered plants, perennials to come back every year. Then I overturned this, but I haven't planted anything. So these weeds are coming back.